You know, it's really hard for me to film this video and tell you not to buy the car when I love the car so much and it sounds like this. This is my 2020 Audi S3 AV. This car has been absolutely perfect for me. I love it to death, but it may not be the right car for you, and I'm gonna talk about that. So I've had this car for almost 3.5 years now. I am modified and tuned. The car is putting up over 400 horsepower, almost 460 foot-pound of torque on 91 octane. And I've talked in length about why this car is so good, why I love this car so much, and how I think basically anybody who's looking for a really fun, fast, reliable, and practical daily driver should really look at this car. There is a segment of people though who I think may either regret buying this car or would be fairly dissatisfied with owning the car. And I want to talk about those people right now, in case this is you, in order to save you a bunch of money. In the last 6 years, I have owned 4 cars. 3 of them were rear-wheel drive. 2 of them were Toyota 86s essentially. I had a 2013 Subaru BRZ and then a 2019 Toyota 86. And then before I bought this Audi S3, I had a 2019 SS 1LE Camaro. If you are somebody who is looking for a pure driver's car, then I don't think you're going to be happy with an Audi S3 or an Audi RS3 for that matter, if you're also considering the 8V RS3s. This is of course very subjective and it depends on what your experience with performance cars is up until this point. But if you are somebody who is looking for the most engaging driver's experience, you want to feel really connected to the road, you want to really feel the car when you're driving it, you want to rip around corners and twisties and just feel that connection and feel that really analog feel in the steering wheel and have that direct feedback with what's going on in the front of the car, this car is probably not going to be for you. And the reason being is because this car is kind of a just all around really solid daily driver. It's comfortable. It looks really nice on the inside. The interior of this car is very, very nice in my opinion, especially with these upgraded sport seats. It is very fast. It can sound fun, even though it's 4-cylinder, the E888 engine doesn't sound the greatest. It can sound pretty fun as displayed here, right? It can sound pretty fun, but it is overall a really solid car in basically every way that you could ask for a car to be when it comes to a performance daily driver, okay? The only issue though is when I compare this car to the driving experience of my 86s and Camaro, and like honestly the Camaro was amazing, especially with that 1LE package that gave it the upgraded suspension, you know, better wheels, all that kind of stuff. It was spec'd for the track. I would say that the 86s were the most fun, the most engaging, even just driving around town. 90% of your driving, unless you're somebody who is going to the track often, 90% of your driving is going to be point A to point B, right? On the weekends, you're gonna take it out for fun drives, but just driving around town and hitting those corners around town, you know, if you're lucky enough to have twisties in your area, then going and hitting those twisties from time to time, that's where the majority of your driving is going to be. So when it comes to a car like the S3, it is fun. I'm not saying it's not fun at all. Obviously, I love the car to death. I've had it for over 3 years. And the only thing that's gonna peel this car out of my cold dead hands is either an 8V RS3 or an F87 M2, which I'll talk about why I can't have one of those in a minute. But the driving this day to day, it does definitely lack that kind of engagement and that analog feel, because the steering on this car is very obviously electronic. It feels electronic, it feels assisted. Even when I keep it, the steering, I run the car in individual mode most of the time, or dynamic mode, but I do keep the steering as firm as it can be. And even at that setting, it definitely feels a little looser than I like, a little more kind of electric and assisted. And you know, the car does handle really well, obviously. It's not like it doesn't handle well and it doesn't corner well, but it's really, really good at just going fast in a straight line, and especially from a dig, because launch control on this thing, it's kind of a gimmick in a way, but it feels like a roller coaster, right? I've had endless, well, I haven't launched the car excessively, but I have launched it enough to have a lot of fun. But when I think about those days of owning the 86 and just how fun and engaging my drives to the gym were, or my drives to the grocery store, you know, just ripping around corners, getting the back end out of the car out at will in a really controllable manner, the low center of gravity. It was just leagues ahead of this car in terms of being a pure driver's car. So I think if you're somebody who, you know, you're looking at the S3s or RS3s and you're expecting like a really analog kind of raw experience, I think you're going to be disappointed, and I think you should be looking at alternatives. I've only driven performance rear-wheel drive cars before this S3 with those 286s and the Camaro, but I do think that if a raw analog just driver's experience is what you're after, you could probably consider looking at the Civic Type Rs around the same price range, because those cars are definitely meant for drivers, right? Drivers first for sure. They're probably not going to go as fast in a straight line. They're definitely not going to go as fast from a dig or launching because they don't have all-wheel drive, they're front-wheel drive. At this point in my life, I'm not in a position where I can own a two-door car. I've owned several in the past, but right now, you know, we have two dogs, me and my fiance. I have to get people in the back seat sometimes. We get a ton of snow here. We get a ton of snow in the winter. So having that all-wheel drive, having four doors, you know, I can fit the dog's crate in the back seat of the car. Those things are really important to me and where I'm at in my life right now. But if you are in a position where you can swing a two-door car, I would probably recommend going with something else if you're after just the most pure raw driver's experience that you can get for this kind of money, of course. You know, budget determines what kind of car you can get or how much car you can get. The reason I love this car so much is because for the money, you can get a ton of car, and it's a car that does everything that you could want and need from a performance daily driver without really sacrificing too much. And I don't need too much space, so this car being a compact kind of sedan, it doesn't really bother me, and I'm not being like, you know, drastically limited in any way because of that. But the car is just so good overall, like the full package. It looks good. The interior looks really high quality. The seats are comfortable. It, with a tune, stage one, like I'm stage 2 now with the downpipe ECU TCU tunes, but even just with a IE stage 1 tune with that TCU tune to run the high torque map, this car is fast, okay? The internet may tell you that the car isn't fast, Golfs aren't fast. Don't believe them. I'm telling you, coming from somebody who came from a V8 Camaro, this car is fast, okay? Very fast at stage 1, even faster at stage 2. But you can get all of that for $30,000 Canadian with a clean, you know, clean car, relatively low mileage, or if you're in the States, $24,000 American. But again, if I was in a position where I could have a two-door car and I didn't need the practicality of a four-door car, I would definitely be driving and filming this video in an F87 BMW M2 right now. Unfortunately, I can't do that. It's not feasible for me where I'm at. But if you're somebody who can swing it, definitely look into getting yourself a two-door car, because two-door cars are a lot of fun. You know, they look great. Rear-wheel drive is amazing. That being said, I just wanted to film this video for anybody who is on the market, or if you're just kind of curious and you're just looking around, maybe you don't plan on buying one, but you're just generally interested. This car may not be for you if you're looking for a pure driver's car. Again, if you're looking for a car that is really fun, can be really fast. It is fast in stock form, but with the tune, it's pretty freaking fast. It's been reliable. I've had no issues in the last 3.5 years. I've been tuned for over 2 years now. Pretty affordable to maintain, right? It does everything like that I could want from a daily driver. It does it really well, but it is definitely lacking in that raw, engaging experience when it comes to just the driver experience of the car. So if you enjoyed this video, feel free to follow along, hit that sub button, and I'd love if you just drop some comments. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you're driving. Let me know what you would like to be driving. Let me know how you feel about the S3. You know, obviously I am very biased. I own one. I absolutely love it. And I may be buying an RS3 in the near future if things pan out, but we'll talk about that in another video. But like always, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.